All right. I was just listening to this biblical discussion, um, and it was a biblical discussion about Jesus and whether or not he's the Messiah according to the um, books of the Torah, or the books of the so-called Old Testament, right? Or the Testament, what have you.
Hey, you want some goulash?
And I think it's when when I was reading back on this stuff, like I was just reading this one, and it was this prophet who was talking about the saved, right? And it was just interesting. Like the text itself was just so fucking interesting, um, because he was basically saying that righteous people will be saved, but unrighteous people will not be saved. Right? This echoes the book of Enoch, which says God will long suffer the unrighteous. Right? And so this prophet is constantly asking the question of why is it just that some men are saved and some men are not, right? And you get into all the modern Jesus stuff, and it's like, oh, saved, saved, saved. But in the context of this thing, it's like, no, the righteous people, they're the saved ones. This has nothing to do with that theological stuff about Christianity and salvation. This has everything to do with the righteous people. Why is it just that? I mean, you have to understand what this guy is asking. Because this man is a follower of Moses and Abraham and Samuel. This man is a righteous man. And he understands that righteous people live better lives. Because they don't put up with the shit. Like they do the curses themselves. If a righteous man curses you, then they're their own jurisdiction. And I'm not promoting this. I'm saying this is what the text is saying, and that's why these ancient authors hide their stuff, because this is if the law is about the heart, then damn, that's some anti-state stuff right there. And so the righteous aren't going to put up with the false moralities of the wicked, of the toxic. They're going to go out there and they're going to get justice done. And then those that go out there and get justice done, they're going to live better lives. Right? But what he's asking is the following. It's like a lot of the times the blessings of the good come from the rabbis. Why is it just that some people just live these horrid lives, like Adam, of toil and drudgery, and other good men are happier in life? That's what he's asking. It's like, what? Why? Like he's talking about this future time. Like this guy's prophesying, and he's like, in the future, like at one point in time, the people are just gonna be fed up, and they're gonna have enough, and they're gonna revolt, and this revolution is gonna overwhelm the toxic and the evil. And that's what righteousness is. Righteousness is action, not holding up signs in the street, or talking in public. And so it makes sense. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That the righteous man is blessed because he doesn't put up with all the toxic shit. He goes out there and gets shit done, whether he wins or loses. He's going to go out there and be righteous for justice. So why is it fair that some sheep are saved while other sheep are not? That's the question. That's the big question that this guy's wrestling with. Because it doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair at all that some people who are unrighteous are gonna have to toil and drudge, while other people who are unrighteous are going to be saved because of some ultra righteous rabbis and shepherds who put hands on their sheep. Like that's a question, and that's an interesting philosophical question. Oh my God! Like I was listening to this guy, and like I heard his lament, right? Because what I saw was that this guy was righteous, and he was able to save many Jews, but this guy loved all men, and he wasn't able to save all men. But at some point in the future, as the Book of Enoch will say, the waters will fall from the sky, and they will drown. And as the Torah would say, the mountains will fall and hills will fall, and new hills and new mountains will be made, right? This is the time that this guy's talking about. He's like, hey, these guys who are toiling, drudging right now are just as good as the guys who are living during this time of this righteousness. It's just, I mean, maybe you could say the power of the shepherd, but you could also just say the happenstance of God, right? I mean, how is that fair? How is that fair that some sheep have to toil and drudgery, and other sheep are going to be living in good pasture? That was the question. It had nothing to do with modern Christian theology of salvation. It had nothing to do with that. And it was interesting by itself. Like the text by itself was interesting, and I see this throughout. Like like I've been focusing on the ancient texts. I haven't been focusing on any of that Christian stuff. But just the ancient text itself is just interesting as hell. Oh my God. Yeah, no, anyways, whew. Yeah, no, like to me, like one of the most amazing things is when I learned this story of Exodus. It was so interesting because I mean, on the one side, in the beginning of the text, Moses introduces the wise men of Egypt, right? And he talks about these wise men of Egypt, right? Now, these wise men of Egypt are, the words of the Pharaoh are the words of these wise men. Like, he's just a puppet. That's why later on the words of the Pharaoh will be the words of Moses, because this is a fight between Moses and the wise men. This is a fight between two different secret societies. This is secret society of the wise men of Egypt and the secret society of Moses and his father-in-law and the other priests of Madian. This is a secret society fight, and it's a pressure fight, right? The wise men of Egypt are telling Moses or telling the Pharaoh to say no to the quote unquote 3 days of sacrifice on the mountain, and then they'll come back, right? Which is a lie. So Moses lies to the Pharaoh through Aaron, because Aaron's doing all the talking. But it's a pressure game. The wise men of Egypt, they put pressure on the Jews. And those Jews put pressure on Aaron to just stop. You know, we lost. Stop. We're suffering. Please, Aaron, stop. And Aaron's going to put pressure on Moses. Hey, they're suffering. We lost. Stop. You know, and all of the plagues are going to be putting pressure on the women of Egypt. Right, and the women of Egypt are going to be putting pressure on the Pharaoh. Hey, just let these guys worship for 3 days on a mountain, and then they'll be back. Like, what the hell? Like, we can't have baths. We can't eat the food that we want. Like, there's all these icky bugs around. I mean, they're putting pressure on all these women, and the women are going to be putting pressure on the Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh's going to be putting pressure on the wise men. So this is a pressure fight, and Moses, who comes from the women of the palace, is able to have the women of the palace have a coup against the wise men through this whole process, and Moses ends up taking over Egypt. Like, that's the real story. Moses ends up, but just like his hero, Abraham would go into other men's tribes and bless the good men and curse the evil men, instead of the opposite, bless the evil men and curse the good men, which is what a bad Jew would do. That would be the opposite of Abraham. So just like his hero Abraham, who would just wander around Mesopotamia, blessing the good men and cursing the evil men, regardless of the city-state and the language and the religion. So to Moses, he took over the Egyptian tribe and then left, just walked out in the desert with his people, now free, or under his supervision. Pretending to be lost in order to make them more hardier rather than weak city folk. Yeah, I'll take one. Hell yeah. I'm gonna go have some beer now. But fuck, man. I mean, all this like Christian talk of the Old Testament, like I just, when I read it, it's just like I don't always see all this stupid Greek theology and all this shit. I see it's beautiful within itself.